Hello Libra, these are your cards for November 2022. I'm DanielleStimpson of Learn Reiki Philadelphia. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out the overview video. It's linked in the description. That will bring you through the relevant astrology for this month. And I also recommend that you check out your sun, moon, and rising sign if you happen to know all three to get a more complete view of your month ahead. So without any further ado, let's dive right in. So we start out the month by looking at the focus. The focus of this month was the King of Coins, who is the controller of the things and the domain that has everything to do with money and resources. And he showed up for you in the reverse. This is you're going to be focusing on what seems like a radical shakeup. I feel like, having looked at all of the cards for you already, it's sort of like this pull between the tangible world and the spiritual and the emotional, and this back and forth. So where you're normally someone who can kind of be in the middle, be fair, and own placement equally, hold placement for both things and for anything, one side and the other, you find a difficulty getting and maintaining that balance this month, specifically in the mundane world of basic resources. That kind of thing gets shaken up for you. And for everybody else, definitely check that overview if you haven't already. So this is what the focus is and what will be playing out. A shakeup in regards to money, roof over your head, food, this basic stability things. Doesn't mean everything's going to get washed away necessarily. For most of you, clearly it won't. But it will definitely be impacting your sense of stability in all of those areas, or maybe one or another more so. When we get to the next card, this represents where you're starting off the month. And for you, I get the Ace of Cups. So it makes sense that you're having trouble holding space for all of the mundane, worldly, basic things, because your mind and your heart want to be focused on something much bigger and something that feels much better. This is all of those new beginnings in your heart that you're starting out with. The things that are like, ooh, this feels nice, this feels great, all these new connections you've made, any kind of new physical or spiritual practice or understanding that you've connected with. You really want to kind of open your heart and go in this new direction and follow all these good feelings. And that does kind of distract you from the worldly, mundane stuff. So that's where you're starting out the month, in a really good space, really full heart. The challenge for this month brings us to another cups. And here we have the Page of Cups. Pages are like childlike energy. It's like the initial phases. So it makes sense that it comes right on the heels of the Ace of Cups. It's like this bounty of good things. Here, this is sort of like this, the word I would use is slightly immature, not quite refined way of dealing with these things that you're new to. You're sort of like a kid in a candy store with how you're feeling. Ooh, this is great. I can't wait to try this and try that and try that and try that and try that. And then you start to realize, like, maybe I'm neglecting, some discernment. Maybe I'm neglecting some of those very real world things that I really do need to be paying attention to. Hint, hint, hint. So there's this tendency to want to almost go towards escapism and what you're feeling. It's not all escapism. There are some great opportunities, great new people that you want to continue to develop these connections with, and new opportunities still, but you also want to take that Page of Cups for what he's worth. You're just in the initial stages, and it's easy to want to take everything without discernment because it feels really great. This is just, the challenge is going to be making sure that you are checking in with your mature side and starting to think like, okay, but what do I really have time for? What can I do today? Maybe I can't do all the things I want to do. I need to do the things I need to do too. Sorry. That's just where that is. But it's really not a bad challenge from the looks of it as far as challenges go. The card that represents course of action, the recommended course of action, is the Three of Wands. So this is a very action-oriented card. This has to do with a lot of hard work that's been put into something. You're going to get out of something what you put into it. And this has to do with showing up and getting things done, not just how you feel. I feel like he is more related to our transverse King of Coins. The King of Coins is usually somebody who has everything on lock, very organized, like you tend to be, very methodical. He knows what he needs to do and he gets it done. And then here he's a little out of balance. This is like, hey, the best action here is to maybe, yes, definitely make room in your life for that, big open heart and that Ace of Cups that came in, but make sure you're putting effort into what is in front of you, because that's going to matter down the road. Now is a sort of a window of opportunity, so definitely put the work in so that you can later reap the benefits. So what would be, like, how do we really make room for all of this? That brings us to the last card, which is the whispers from your guides. If your guides could send you a love note, what would it be? And here we get the Hierophant. And it's really the only major arcana in your reading. The Ace of Cups is still a pretty big card, but this is the major arcana. And here we get the Hierophant. This gives us a clue as to how to really balance both of those things, both sides of your life right now. The Hierophant is all about being a mentor and a guide. I take this as reach out to a mentor, get not even necessarily a literal mentor. It could be a literal mentor, but it could also be the opinions and feedback and valued, trusted feedback of people you know and love already. Those in your life and saying, hey, this is where my struggle is. Can you help out? This also, besides seeking help and seeking that guidance from someone who has more experience than you in different things, this is also a card that sheds light on what are the ethics that we have, what are the morals that we have, what are the values and virtues that we have, and how do we show up in the world in them? How do we act on them? Are we acting on them? Can that be tweaked? Should that be tweaked? This can represent sort of this focus of, okay, we're doing this and this feels good, but now we need to see, is this the right way forward, and get some perspective. Yes, this feels great because we're seeing progress, but taking that moment to step back and gain that foresight of, okay, but where does this lead, and is that where I want to go? Definitely be open to taking in that input. And with it being a Hierophant, it's also a very spiritual card. It may be more than just literal people that you know and trust. This could also be your meditation practice, your prayerfulness practice, whatever it might be for you, using your intuition and checking in for yourself and asking spirit, like, can you give me a hint? Can you tell me what to do? Which should I do? Which do I say yes to? Which do I do no to? Am I going on the right path? If I keep going this way, if I keep putting all this energy in, where is this car going to take me? I keep pouring gas into this road trip, but where's the end? Is that where I want to go? And that is sort of the quandary for this month. Where to make enough time for your emotions, and where you feel pulled in a heart-centered way, and where you need to put your energy into the more mundane getting things done. And definitely not being afraid to seek help, including spiritual guidance, when needed along the way. So Libra, with that, I wish you a beautiful November 2022. Don't forget to subscribe and all of that good stuff. And I hope to see you again next month. Take care and bye for now.